Yat shike doshadina she alvina fisanisha. Lazafana nishla ki ani bashichin hashkana doe e dashe do tudijini e dashanella. Shama doshaje e Florinda Newland do avin fisan wilya. Shama sana doshache e Jane do Adikai begay wilya da a doshanella has teen doshanella adza e Leon do Rose fisan wilya da. Hello everyone, my name is Alvina Fusen. Um, I am a 2017 Page High School graduate. On behalf of the Native American Heritage Community and the PUSD staff, I would like to thank you guys for joining us this evening. Tonight, we have prepared various inspirational messages as well as entertainment for you guys. I will be performing the national anthem in Navajo, so I will hope you guys enjoy. Yashodathnol Hayat kafiet Badawini got Danat agoni hilini No dos nobis odessos Nabayet haya Bit awni got einliche Neje in de bahin de adlini Ahehee benelita Bazita halade Heya beda si osen Tone hadas in tosende Toshi ei so bitsin elgong Anat ahado Nehekeya Bekeki Kan honjo Nahazli
Yate shikero shidene she Timothy Benali inishia Billigana nishle bitani vashin Billigana dashiche arot oje dashanale aro look at nitel edasha. Good morning, everyone. My name is Timothy Benali. I am a senior at Penn State University, and during this COVID period, I have also been blessed with the opportunity to work for the Navajo Nation Office of the Speaker as a public information officer. I come here to you today from the beautiful Round Rock, Arizona, which is not Lukat Natal or Ganado, Arizona, but another place that I grew up in, and actually where my family is from, more specifically my father's side of the family. At Penn State University, I have had the wonderful opportunities to get some accomplishments going, such as making the Dean's List for about 6 semesters in a row now. Another accomplishment that I've gotten to accomplish is becoming Unity's top 25 under 25 awardee. I have become Penn State's first Native American Udall Scholar in the healthcare category. And most recently, I have started the Indigenous Peoples Student Association. So at Penn State University, I have gotten the amazing opportunities to accomplish a lot of really great things for somebody at 22 years old. The first of which being I was able to publish my first academic paper as a McNair Scholar under Penn State's clinical psychology program. I have been able to achieve Unity's Top 25 Under 25 award. I have become one of Penn State's first Native American Udall Scholar recipients, which was a big accomplishment in the sense that I was able to do it through mental health care and began to advocate on campus as a Udall Scholar. Another thing I've been able to do is make the Dean's List for about 6 semesters in a row now. And most recently, I founded and am now president of the Indigenous Peoples Student Association at University Park, which is the main campus. Founding the Indigenous Peoples Student Association, or IPSA, has been an extraordinary opportunity, considering that previously there was no other programs to help Native American students in higher education at Penn State. And in the process of founding that organization, I've gained lots of support from the university, including 2 more Navajos who have come to Penn State and been able to help me with initiatives. And those 2 Navajos are Tracy Peterson and Dr. Holly Kulago. Tracy Peterson actually went to my high school of Ganado. And Dr. Kulago also came from Windrock, which was our rival high school. And so in that process, we've been able to create the university's first and only land acknowledgement for Penn State University. We have developed a working draft that has since gone through Penn State administration, been supported by the student council, and we are hoping we'll be able to create scholarships for descendants of those original tribes that inhabited Pennsylvania. We're hoping to get funding for a Native American Heritage Center on campus, and a bunch of other initiatives that we're hoping will make Penn State more inclusive, but not only more inclusive, but more supportive of Indigenous people. And although it was a lot of work on my part for the university, I was proud to do it, and proud to be a trailblazer in that sense, knowing that there was a lot of people that helped me get to Penn State and get to the accomplishments that I had just mentioned. However, a lot of the accomplishments that I've been able to achieve over the past couple years, they didn't start when I stepped foot on campus. They weren't handed to me, and they weren't something that people just gave to me. They actually started here on the Great Navajo Nation. Currently, like I mentioned, this is Round Rock, Arizona, and where my family grew up herding sheep. I would come here to ride horses and wrangle cows, as you might be able to see in the background here in a bit. But it really started with that character development of coming out to the sheep camp and chopping wood and following my grandmother's tedious instructions, and really building that character. And in the same sense, with that character development came a sense of purpose that I feel propelled me to stages like Penn State, and in high school as a 3-sport athlete, and also as a valedictorian. And so it was really that purpose, that sense of purpose, and that motivation, in that drive that I learned here in these canyons, and with the stories of my ancestors and their resilience throughout the generations, that really propelled me to a lot of important stages in my life. And so, going to a small reservation school in Ganado, which I should mention, may trigger some people, considering that back in high school, me and Ganado and Paige were huge rivals, and I have to say we beat you guys 4 times, but you guys did get us back with that regional championship. But I'll just leave it at that. But going to such a small school in Ganado High School, I really didn't have many opportunities to gain AP credit for college. I didn't have a lot of college prep, and really I felt that I didn't have a lot of resources to prepare me for life after high school. And I used to see that as a big disadvantage, and I thought I wanted to go to bigger schools or prep schools that would better prepare me for the future. But what I didn't realize is that going to a small reservation school and living on the Navajo reservation, where things are tough, and sometimes the nearest grocery store is over an hour away, and and I watch people struggle with things like limited water, electricity, Wi-Fi, and things that the rest of America seems to have easily. Realizing that, or I used to think that it was a disadvantage to live on the Navajo reservation, because I wasn't getting a lot of these resources. But once I stepped foot on Penn State University, I realized that I had everything that I needed, just because I grew up here and grew up learning to find the beauty in the struggle, and realize that the character that I built gave me the strength and motivation to learn anything. I had a mentor once tell me that you can always sit down and learn something. You can always sit down and learn a chapter of calculus. You can always sit down and write a paper or figure out how to write a paper. But a sense of purpose is something that nobody can really teach you, and nobody can instill in you. And just being able to learn about my culture really gave me that purpose. As I look around here in Round Rock, I can probably tell you a story about each and every one of these rocks and canyons and landmarks, and even the dwellings and the people who live here. I remember I grew up hearing a lot of these stories, especially when it came to my ancestors and the Anasazi, who were able to survive out here, and not only survive but thrive out here. So the unique landscape here provided those opportunities for my ancestors to go and escape their enemies, and to be able to take care of their families. I remember one of my favorite stories that I learned here was that in these very long canyons, they're called box canyons because there's no way out of them. My dad told me that some of my ancestors were great runners, and what they would do is they'd create a relay team, and they would go and one person would start chasing a deer from the beginning of the canyon, and they would chase him as fast and as hard as they could until they got to the next person, and then the next person would go and they would chase the deer, and that relay would just continue until the deer was thoroughly tired out, and they would go and they would rope the deer, and they would kill it like that. Lessons I've come to realize that I really am my ancestors' wildest dreams, and through the generations it's taken a level of brave and courage to be able to provide for our families, and to be able to make a or give the opportunity for future generations to go and succeed.
Yate, Sha'achano, Shatejake, Sitsilike, Aro Baut Kaidan Othiniki, Sheya, Talaba, Begayinshke, Aro Adon Anshiniki et Lash Change, Kiani e Bashishin, Nakadene Dashan Naldo Tachini Dashache, Aro Aquadet Nat Ani Nasda Nasha, and the Big East Hoch with Yedish Yahul Aro a munchle, Shich e Nast e Benache, Bahensen do ba Ahansen a munchle, Aro Ohut e a motto the Nedo Bala Ashleinchle. Ahahatla, Sha'achene, thank you for tuning in today. Yego Dinoltra, Wishebe Dinoltra, Haishna de Nido Aten. Adara, yo, be safe out there, my kids, my little brothers, my little sisters. I can never stress this enough. Education is important. My dad always told me growing up, if you want good things in life, you have to work hard for it. He said it to us at a young age, and I didn't quite understand at that time, but ganda, sho nso, ganda ya nso. And to this day, I believe what his words were, because education plays a huge part in living a good life and having good things in life. Education is something you can always grow with, but it's something no one can take from you. So remember that. I know through this pandemic, we face hard times, especially living on the res. We have no Wi-Fi. Some of us have no electricity, no running water. Even though we have those struggles, we can overcome this. We can be better. We can be resilient. And we can grow and be stronger from this pandemic. Don't let this pandemic hold you back. I have faith in you and your education. My grandma always says, she goes, you don't just do it at those just move it runs. Such every day you do it. It's up to you to make that difference in your life. Thank you, teachers, for being there for the students, for making those changes. I understand through this pandemic, we're all growing and learning through this. You know, we make our trials and errors through this, but never downplay your role in the kids' lives. You're making a difference. With that, I'd like to say thank you to Pinyan, or to Page Unified District, and also to the JOM, to the IEC Committee Council, Ntsaago, for sponsoring this for you all. Don't, just because, you know, that saying of, if one of your friends jumps off the cliff, are you going to jump off too? Don't follow that. You have your own path. Be your own person. You are unique. You are special. The Creator put you here for a purpose. You have a reason. You have a life. You have a plan. You probably don't know yet, but it's waiting for you in your near future. If you feel scared, if you feel at times this is overwhelming you, please, Sha'achin, use your prayers, utilize that. When this pandemic happened, my grandma was the one who told me, use your prayers, it'll get you through. And I really was struggling with taking in this whole pandemic, this epidemic that happened. And it really does help us in ways we don't realize. So please, if you feel you're overwhelmed with your education work and anything in that sort, please continue to utilize your prayers. That's something that I want to share with you all, because your education is very important. Also, you're very important. As a student, So yeah, Nana, thank you for tuning in today. I want to say you're doing an awesome job. Continue. Turn in your homework. I know it's only virtual school, and I know you probably think the teacher probably won't even notice I'm here. But please continue to make that effort to be in school every day, because your education's important. And I like to share some songs with you to uplift you. And I hope these songs stay with you throughout the rest of the semester, throughout the rest of your school. And these songs help you in becoming a better person and with growing with your education as well. I hope to see you guys all through your graduation. I don't know to college. There's so many opportunities out there for you. Be safe. Continue to wear your face mask, sanitize, wash your hands. Be safe out there.
hojon dolel na Hassan shema shija dien lini dien de ne not lini san na gaibik hojon dolel ta shabik en lon ha a te shada a na hokos ni itni ya atni ni hik hojon dolel na Hassan beni nache beni dolel ni hiket te ankiti traji hayot kal nini nahodet so chal hiel shana hol aw beni nache beni edole tradina tin is kae bike hojon la beni nache ya benas nane katole sis na jene sotzil doko aslid de bensa dinzil bike hojon la beni nache beni hit bezil dole ni tekens lini ni islini shik benashni dolel tachini hilchini oge ezatlana bini nachi yaha shit bezil dolel beshtaya hot dolel shma shaja shade sitilke shadeje nahalchine shadake shiche shik al twaje ahehee bini nachi bencht dolel beshtaya hot dolel benas nana stal dolel hojon la bini nachi yaha tradidin tin lini da hilt au na de katolel ni galin dat ni na nishin dat babik hojon dolel ni hilt na da hojon dolel bit chode zin holon bit begin sin holon bit be ahine katolel benas nane katolel bini nachi yaha shik lini benashni dolel de nebikeya hojon la aman lini beda ilya dolel adobitichigi telke amado ja amasane ache tashabik elon dago shigo ag ego khaije nahol aw hojon la na Hassan shema lini bini nache ni galin dati igi ni na nishin dati igi ta inil thaigi be na kha alya dolel ni hidil chitolel ni hijay bedil chitolel bini nache yaha bashil hojon dolel na Hassan shema shija yen lini hach wan ya aheni zi dolel beshil hojon do bini nache yaha be benched dolel bini nache yaha nijone ina isla dolel bini nache bitzil dolel bini nache ahil aw nenade katolel ni hitodezin ne khadi dolel ala bedo zenit eda an khacho baiye ala hot ende nas nane katolel nas bebit ni hitzil dolel nas bejo ba ini zi dolel nas bebini nache benched dolel sa ahnarein lini hojon lansen
Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Pluto, they're all movie stars at Disneyland.
Hojo nahasli, hojo nahasli, hojo nahasli, hojo nahasli.
Thank you so much for attending our Native American Heritage Month Cultural Night. It's been a pleasure on behalf of our committee to present this to you. We wish you well and thank you. Ntsaago.
Please, as you guys go about your day, remember to follow CDC rules, wash your hands thoroughly, not just quickly under the water, wash between your hands. And if not, and you don't have access to water, make sure that you hand sanitize.
I just want to say to embrace your culture, whatever your culture is, and search your ancestry, explore your heritage. You're not just white. I'm Polish, Irish. I grew up with a rich tradition, and that helps you have a bigger, more enriching identity. And so I encourage you to explore your identity, whatever it is, your culture. Culture itself is an act of liberation, and it's wonderful to be here with all my fellow Navajo peers. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.
Hello everyone, winter season is upon us, so make sure you check on your elders. It will be cold soon, so if you need firewood, please chop them up for them. Grab some more blankets.
Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. On behalf of all the Filipinos, we say salamat, or thank you to all the citizens of Page for making this a second home for more than 15 Filipinos here in Page. Thank you for the warm welcome and the warm support and giving us an opportunity to be able to share our culture with you guys. Thank you.